Yet again, I have very little amount of time to explain, but stick with me and everything will make sense. Welcome to another video. Let's get straight into it with Let It Die.
Jin Die is 7 feet 10 inches tall and weighs 950 pounds. She was created by combining multiple people into one. She was an unfinished experiment and suffers from poor hearing. Instead, she has exceptional vision and can immediately recognize and identify any target within her range of sight. She collects the heads of those she has vanquished and uses them as ammunition for the railgun which is attached to her stomach.
Hello and welcome to another video. As I said at the beginning, we are playing Let It Die, and if you've watched my previous video you will know the clip that we just watched is very relevant to what we are going to be doing. So follow me as we climb the tower and make our way towards Jin Die. Only our second mini-boss, though I am extremely happy to say that in the stream we did actually fight our first proper boss, and no spoilers allowed, so if you want to go and check that out, I will be posting my first fight against him, and I'll also be leaving my VOD up for a little bit, so if you guys want to go and check it out on Twitch, you're more than welcome to. Follow the link and follow me on the other side. So this video does actually begin with us heading towards floor 4, as we did fight Cohen in the last video. I genuinely cannot tell you the amount of times I've killed him since the previous video, but we are finally moving on to the next mini-boss, which is on floor 6. So this video is floors 4, 5 and 6. This is obviously the route that I took. You guys can take alternative routes. I think there is 2 ways to get from floors 4 to 6, but yeah, if you guys want to do it a different way, you're more than welcome to do it a different way. This is just the way that I did it myself. As you can see, I immediately turned left and took care of some of these tubers. Luckily they were only Mark 1, so they were quite easy to take care of. My challenge for today was to get 2 kills at the same time, so you can see I am trying to line up a double headshot, but unfortunately I do not get it here. I do believe that I ended up getting the double kill at some point in the stream, but I don't know if it was in this video. I believe I wasted too many bullets there, but that's why the shake of the screen. We instantly come out here and get attacked by this hovering tuber. And yeah, these guys have just become so easy since I've got a gun. If you don't recognize it, I am using the Glinty Magnum, and yeah, it's not the most reliable weapon in the game. However, it is the first gun that we have access to, and so my intentions are to level up as quickly as possible before we start to unlock other guns. I also have one of my favourite weapons, the Jungle Machete, that is in my right hand. I'm actually carrying a couple of these just in case they break. Same with the Glinty Magnums, I'm actually carrying a couple of them just in case I run out of ammunition. Yeah, back to the comment of it not being the most reliable weapon. You will notice, you will have noticed, that when I tried to shoot this enemy from the top there, it didn't even touch them, because I believe they have a certain range on them. And that's kind of annoying for me. You would kind of presume a long-range weapon has a longer range, but yeah, it's an interesting one. You may notice that the play of this floor is very similar to how I play the other floors. I'm very literally just killing and collecting. There's no other way to describe it. I just kill anything that moves and I collect anything that's valuable. I think the hardest part of this game, besides not trying to die, is learning all of the enemy movesets. Certain enemies are very easily attacked straight up, whereas others you have to bait out into a longer attack animation. It's like most games, but for some reason this game just kind of, I don't know, I'm having a little bit of difficulty remembering which ones are which. I think some of the enemies really do look the same, and also I think a few of the animations, it depends on what weapon they're carrying. So you have to really take note as to what's in their hands as and when you're running up on them. It's a little bit annoying, but I mean, any game has this kind of mechanic in it. As someone that's only really played about 50 hours of the game, yeah, I think my opinions don't really matter on that behalf, but as I get later and later, I think these are probably going to be things that I grow to love, like the difference between all the characters. And I mean, at the moment I'm only moaning about it because I don't know, you know, like once I've got it all figured out and once I've actually realized who's doing what attacks and what weapons cause what different animation, I feel like I'll probably be enjoying the game a lot more, and it's probably, like I said, going to become one of the things that I grow to love about the game. It's actually perfect that one happens to be on the screen when I'm talking about this, but the reason that I believe about this is because of the hovering tubers. I absolutely hated them when they were killing me, but now that I know their attack set, and now that I know that they get stuck in the floor, and they're so easy to deal with, in fact I would argue they're probably one of the easiest to deal with once you've got their moveset down. Now that it's like that, I actually really enjoy encountering these things, because I feel like I'm outsmarting the enemy. And once you have the moveset memorized, the encounters pretty much become child's play. I mean, you wait for them to get stuck in the floor and then you punch them once and they're dealt with, rather than them ramming into you, say 4 times, and you being sent back down to the waiting room. Now, I do realise the irony in me saying all this whilst shooting them from a distance. I should probably mention the only reason that I'm using the gun at the moment is to level it up. Once I have leveled it and leveled up all the other guns, I do actually hope to be a melee only player, but I want to also level every single weapon as much as I can. So yeah, I'm kind of getting the ones that I don't want to do out of the way. I should probably have done the iron first, because I don't like them, but yeah, maybe they might be leveled up last, but at this point, who knows? They may never be leveled, they might be leveled. I don't like them at the moment. I think at this part, I kind of realised that I was working towards a boss, and I wanted to keep the durability on my weapons, and I also wanted to keep a little bit of ammunition aside, just so that I knew that I could definitely get through it. So I think I actually swapped to my fists. As I said in the last video, they are close to being at the top level, so I know that I don't really have to worry, and I know that if I do end up not having any weapons, I can just rely on my fists. That was an unfortunate moment there, I actually fell. Completely forgot about this. Quickly healed with a mushroom, and then I went over to take care of this hovering tuber. And this is where the reserve of ammunition is. Ready? We are waiting for him to attack me, and I just go and punch him. How satisfying is that? We outsmarted him and overpowered him. It's just such a beautiful game. I feel like that moment has just kind of summed up everything that I was just speaking about. And with perfect timing too, because now we move on to floor 5. Floor 5 was not very eventful really. I mean, it's the floor before a boss, so it's kind of building up the excitement for the boss, but it's not very eventful here. I managed to find another jungle machete, so obviously that goes into my stash. And it's got a +2 on it as well, which is the same as all of my other ones, so there's going to be no damage difference or anything. It's absolutely beautiful. You quickly get attacked by a level 13, and he was very easily handled. At the moment, I think I'm only picking up weapons and stuff ready to sell when I go back to the waiting room, or just to swap with materials. Someone died as I entered the room. That's kind of peak for them. This hater, yeah, he doesn't really survive very long. I think he does actually manage to do a little bit of damage to me, but oh, never mind. I was that focused on the battle that I actually saw my mask break. Actually put my mask straight back on, and we just continue with the floor like nothing happened. That hater didn't even exist, look at it. A quick little shimmy and a punch, and we're being attacked again. It's a little bit awkward fighting in a corridor, especially when you are outnumbered, but that doesn't actually hold me back at all. I just work my way through the corridor, eventually working into this little open space, just to finish off the last one. And if I was to look back, there's probably a trail of bodies behind me. And here we go, a couple of mushrooms for me to eat. And there were a few tools for me to pick up. There was only one mushroom, I don't know why I said a couple. But yeah, there was a mushroom and a couple of random tools for me to pick up to help me along my way. Obviously I had to go and check what was down here because we heard noises, which could only mean that there's an enemy down here. I literally only come down here to kill the enemy and to see if there's a box or a mushroom or anything down here. Even though, like, every single time I've done this, there's only been the odd enemy, and there's never been a box or anything, so I don't even know why I come down this far. Luckily, I do know my way out. We have just quickly ran back to where we fell down, and climbed up. That's basically it. There's no reason to panic when you're down there, there is a way out. It did take me about half an hour to figure it out the first time. I was just being extremely slow that day. We're not going to talk about it. This is actually another one of them rooms that I was speaking about in the previous video when I said about them evolving when you go upstairs. So I don't know if you, when my map goes away, you might be able to pick up on the fact that this room has had little bits of movement. So in the previous floors there was a box in the middle that would allow you to climb up, and then on this floor there is now this box on the side. And you'll also notice that around the other side, I believe I poked my face down there in a minute. Yeah, just down here, in a couple floors time, there are actually boxes along here, so that's why I get used to climbing up and going around the other way, just because I can't be bothered to punch my way through 3 or 4 boxes every single time I want to go up there. The boom shroom, I absolutely love this. I will trade anything for it, as you're about to find out. I trade a blueprint for it, luckily a blueprint that I already own and already know what it is. But these boom shrooms, they're basically like hand grenades but in mushroom form, and they are absolutely amazing. They do a little bit of damage, unless you're going against low level things, then they pretty much wipe them out when you throw them at them. But yeah, it's pretty cool, pretty cool. Hopefully you'll be able to see how it works in this video. I can't remember exactly where I used the boom shrooms, but I do remember collecting a fair few of them. I quickly sorted my my death bag out. This way, whenever I'm picking something up, I can just swap it with the first thing that's there. And I believe every single time I pick something up, I sort my bag from this point out. So I'm just going to cut them sections out, and you'll know what happens. I'm actually going to speed this floor up. As I said before, it wasn't very eventful. So I will see you at the escalators in a split second. I spent about 3 minutes just running around, which is absolutely crazy to me. I've just noticed a box that I missed as well, damn it. But anyway, without any further ado, we are on to the next floor. So ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn because it's time for your main event. Oh yeah, I forgot that I actually have to get to the boss fight. Well, that's a bit upsetting. Keep your popcorn in its tub for a little bit. Don't do what I do at the cinema. Do not eat them during the ads. Anyway, I can do a quick run around, and I say quick because I've had to speed this one up. We do very quickly locate the escalators to the other route. I might do a video on this in the future, but for today we're just going to stick with the one that I've taken. I know that I cut out one of the floors, but I promise you it was really not worth putting in. Otherwise this video would have been very long and there'd be loads of sections where I'm not really saying anything and I'd just be walking around. Or it'd be edited down and it would just be kill, 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 escalator, kill, 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 escalator, and I didn't really want to do that. So yeah. This one has been sped up though, because again, not a lot happens until we get to the boss. Now at this point I had absolutely no idea where the boss room was. I do quickly eat this mushroom. There's no point in leaving it there if I'm not going to be able to sell it. But yeah, anyway, back to my point. At this point I did not know where the boss room was, like at all. I was just running around hoping for the best. I quickly jumped down here just to quickly see if there was anything down there. I probably shouldn't have rolled. That was a bad decision. As you can see, there was absolutely nothing down here. There was 100% no enemy down here that I had to kill. and there's no boxes, no mushrooms, and I'm actually starting to lose hope in the fact that there might be mushrooms and boxes down there. We managed to get this box that we did actually miss on the previous floor, and we didn't fall down the hole. Here we go. This is the boss room. I know it's the boss room because it's a room that I haven't come across before. It very much stands out, especially when all the floors look the same. I probably didn't even need that mushroom there. I just wanted to start the fight on max health. So if you paid attention to the clip in the beginning, you will know that the ray gun in her stomach actually fires the heads of those she's previously vanquished. But what the video fails to mention is that those heads explode, and that she teleports anytime you attack her. This makes it extremely annoying and extremely hard to fight. The difficulty just ramped up out of nowhere after that Cohen fight, and I'm actually here for it. I love this challenge. Like I said, it's annoying, but it's cool. I am only mildly annoyed by the fact that she teleported, and that's it. You can't lock on, and it's making it really hard for me to run up to her and do any damage with a machete. Though I do believe in a second I actually swap over to the machete, and I do manage to get a couple of hits in before she teleports away. I have now noticed whilst watching this, her main attack actually seems to be just random guns. Here's the boom shroom. Kaboom! It did a decent amount of damage in my opinion. Maybe it could have done a little bit more, but that's what it did. And as I said, the normal ones, it's pretty much a one-hit kill. And compared to the Glinty Magnum, yeah, I think the boom shroom is probably the best weapon I have on me at the moment. Here's a couple of machetes. Bang bang. I got 2 hits in and that was it. At this point I decided I didn't want to run up to her and keep stabbing her and then running away, so I just thought I'd attack from a distance. Maintaining the pistol barrage, I guess you could call it. Yeah, the fight actually isn't that hard if you figure out where her teleportation spawn points are. She seems to teleport around the room. I don't know if there's an order, I haven't fought her enough times to kind of pick that up, but there may actually be a pattern to this. The one thing that I do remember from this fight, and did not need to write down on a note, is that when she hits a certain HP, she actually teleports upwards, which is, it took me by surprise, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's coming up. I think it's a couple of shots away. And then all of a sudden she just teleports upwards, and I was looking for her. The only thing that actually managed to... But here it is, here it is. The only reason I managed to find her is because of the yellow lines. But she disappeared, and I was looking up thinking, where is she? Then I saw the yellow lines, and I knew exactly where she was. So as you see, I am very slowly closing in on her. I didn't want to expose myself too much because I know that the second she locked on, she's going to react. That was a perfect example. I did end up just finishing her off with the Glinty Magnum from a distance here. We hid behind the bricks so that she couldn't attack me whilst I put another armor plate on, and then she teleported right next to me. Little did she know, it would be the last mistake she ever made. I mean, there's not really much else you can say about it. Once I collected the material, I took a quick run around the room, and I unlocked all of the doors. There are 3 unlockable doors. The one at the bottom takes you back to the floor below, and there are 2 separate doors. One of them is here, and one of them I will show you in a second when I get there. But it's in this bottom corner down here, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head. At this point I was literally just checking to see if there was any resources or stuff. I found this resource here, and I actually needed this one, so I'm glad that I got it. Yeah. I don't know if the giant circle door will open, but this is the location of the second door. This is a little challenge room. I jumped in here specifically to show you guys what it is. If you're doing this, it doesn't really matter if you pick up the resources first or if you leave it until after the fight. But this box over here, just be prepared. As soon as you do this, the door behind you will lock and these people will come running out one by one. If you manage to run around and kill them off as they're coming out, then you won't get ganged up on. But if you fail to do so, this fight becomes a little bit harder as they will corner you and they will actually do damage to you. They are only a few levels below you, so you've got to think about it like that. And that's only going from my experience. If you're a level 17 or if you're a level 15 and these guys get you cornered, I'm sorry to say this, but you may need to level yourself up before you come back in this room. The box gave me a bit of material that I at the moment do not need, but I picked it up anyway because I have a feeling that in the future I'm going to need a lot of these. They're boss fight materials and I believe there's different types of them for different bosses, so it'd be interesting to see what I need them for in the future, especially like when I get later on in the tower. It'd be interesting to see if I have to come back and fight these so many times for resources. We did finally pick up this little box that I left, although it wasn't worth opening as it has a blueprint I already had, which is kind of a shame. And we finally come back down to the third door. Now, you go back through this door, you can work your way back to the escalators and go back down the floor. Or you can do what I did, which is run all the way back up to the top and then go through the escalators up there. Now, as we get to the escalators, I am going to be ending this video, as that's as far as I want this video to go. I did end up having to run up this one and running around the floor, going to the elevator, so we're just going to cut to the elevator. And that is the video for today. If you have enjoyed it and wish to see the uncut version, my VOD is posted on my Twitch page, as I mentioned. We do actually go a little bit further than floor 6 today. I did actually manage to get all the way up to floor 10, and I'm not going to spoil it, but we did fight the first main boss. Now, whether I win or lose, that's one for you to find out if you decide to go follow the Twitch link in my description down below. And if you don't, then, well, you're going to have to wait a little bit until I release the videos. So, yeah, maybe the next video won't even be from this VOD. Maybe it might be from another Twitch stream. That's why I'm urging you to go and watch it, because I think today I did pretty well working my way up the tower. But with all that said, keep being awesome, and I will catch you in the next one.